Alright, greetings everybody. Tommy Rad here. I'm doing something different here, like something outside the box. Okay, as you can see, the title of this video is on the day a computer got somebody fired. Well, yeah, that is something that does happen in this day and age. You know, social media overuse. Like somebody going around looking at the social media account on a workstation when you're supposed to be doing work, streaming media, watching YouTube videos, Netflix or Twitch, shopping when you're supposed to be working, violating company IT policies, like accessing restricted sites, you know, engaging in porn, gambling, otherwise anything prohibited content, using installing programs on your work computer that the IT department isn't approving. Oh, and trying to hack, and then messing with security systems. Oh, being a data leaker, screenshots, photos of private systems, unencrypted file transfers without getting permission from the company, sending offensive emails and messages, cyberbullying coworkers, especially using tools like Slack, Teams, and text messages. Doing personal business on company systems, running a side hustle, excessive personal calls, texting. Now legal or ethical violations, pirate media software, downloading copyright content, illegal activities, anything from fraud to threatening messages, insider trading. Yeah, those are things you get fired or even arrested from your current workplace in the modern era. But here's the thing: I'm not talking about what is happening now. I'm talking about something that happened with a computer like this. Okay? With a computer like this, how somebody got fired by that type of computer. Okay, in my book, Punk Rock Revolution... Yeah, hold on a second. I just gotta check something here. Hold on a second. So, how did this guy get fired from talking on a computer? Okay, we're going to get into that story. In my book, Punk Rock Revolution, alright, it contains historic stories, but I never talked about this one job I had in that book. Out of my current work jobs. Okay, with some friends of mine I used to run with in Brooklyn. You know, one of them got me a job at at what he called a stationary warehouse. But today, you know, a lot of us don't use the word stationary. We use office supplies. Okay? He used to brag to me, oh, this is the type of job that'll never go out of business. Okay, but how come your company's not even around in this day and age? You can't find no information on that, buddy. Alright. So, one day at work, there was a sales manager that worked in the office with the bosses. He got fired from his job. And then we're asking, how this guy get fired? What did he do? What did he do wrong? What did he do that they had to fire him? And the answer I got, oh, he was talking to his wife on the computer. talking to his wife on the computer. All right, this is way back in 1981. I must mind you. So how was that possible back then? Okay, back then when I worked in this warehouse, there was there was an office, there was an office where the two owners of the company would sit down, make phone calls, do business stuff, and make sure everybody that was working there was pulling their weight like they were supposed to. If they thought you were a slacker, one time, you were done. You were done in that company. You were done. Or even if they thought you were. So we'll get into that. I'm not going to get into that right now. Back then, they actually had a wall-to-wall, like a computer on a wall. They had a system that was on the wall, actually. With the reel-to-reel tapes. So basically, they were, back then, they were pretty, what they would call old school. On Payday Friday, we used to get paid in cash. And had a little paper, printed out paper stub on what looked like a computer. Along in our pay envelopes. And it used to be delivered by an armored car. And the supervisors that used to work there would hand out the cash to the workers. Okay, so basically, from what I understand, they had some kind of terminal hooked up to some mysterious system. The terminal was the company's lifeline, where orders came through it and used it to send and receive inventory info from somewhere. Probably a mainframe miles away. It was the future, hiding in a very unfuturistic office. So one day, things started going wrong. Orders froze, nothing was coming through. The bosses were losing their shit because the phones were ringing like crazy. Their customers wanted office supplies yesterday. But so that's when somebody said the line. I'll never forget. The manager was talking to his wife on the computer. So basically, his wife was a computer programmer somewhere, and somehow they were doing some kind of messaging. Before, we knew anything about doing instant messaging or Facebook messaging. But at that time, I never knew what that meant. I mean, was he yelling into a monitor like it was a speakerphone? No. He was literally typing his message like I said, some primitive instant messenger system. Back in 1981, that one terminal could handle only one task at a time. If he was in chat mode, no one could process orders. So the whole company basically froze because he was sending love notes to his wife during business hours. These messages would be printed on the invoices that were getting printed through. And of course the bosses saw all that shit. So by the end of the day, the manager was gone. He was fired. The bosses used to get furious over every little thing they did not like. They didn't fully understand what he did. They just knew the system jammed up, orders didn't go out, and it was his fault. Looking back now, thinking about this subject, it's pretty hilarious. In 1981, this company's tiny cash pay system in Manhattan had the first instant messaging system I ever saw, and they fired the guy for using it. If you only knew, he was about years too early for AOL Instant Messenger. Alright, so So basically, I was like doing trying to find some research about this company, if they were still in business or not. I mean, in this day and age, you think about places like Staples, Office Max, Office Depot, about getting office supplies. They don't even use the word stationery. They don't even use that word. So with stories like this is why I love talking about the New York I grew up in. A mix of street level hustle, punk rock energy, and a city that was just getting too wired into the digital age. So basically, this is all I have for now. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment about the first time you saw a computer in an office or school. And hey, if you're into stories about New York City in the punk era, check out my book, Punk Rock Revolution, on Amazon. It's packed with stories from the streets, the clubs, and the people who lived it. And also check out what I have in the description box below. You can donate money through PayPal, become a member. Buy a t-shirt from Teespring. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and remember, don't get caught talking to your wife on the company computer. See you in the next video. No.